Hello again, comrades. And well, as you saw my other video before, you may have, I will be painting the interior of this T-34. And here you see me struggle to take out the engine and transmission of the rear end. And for priming the model, I use AK's black primer, which is really nice for brush painting. Now we can begin brush painting on the black primer onto the interior of the model. Alright, next, to paint the interior turret, I used just white from Vallejo. Now I can begin painting parts of the model with whole red. I then begin to paint the other interior side with sky gray so that I may apply the white in less thin layers than I would have to over the black color. Now we can have some fun with pigments, and pigments are very nice for just creating quick shades and different colors. And these pigments are from a rust set from Uptilong 502. They're very nice, and I only just apply it in small little areas that I want to add some color variation. I don't really want it to be rusty, but it could also give the illusion effect that it is dirt and other grime that have built up in the engine bay area. Plus, I'll then be adding the engine and transmission back once this is all over, and it'll mostly be covered up. Alright, now I can begin painting the details like the ammunition boxes, some of the little crew items, the seats, and the levers, the gears, everything that you might see that will be painted separately, as everything was not full interior white, as far as I know. And with just a simple dry brush technique, I recommend using a disposable brush. I just wipe off excess on the brush onto a paper towel, and I immediately get this nice oily steel effect. If you've seen my previous videos on how I create my own adjustable acrylic washes with Tamiya paints, I just mix it with soap and water, and to help improve the flow even more, I add isopropyl alcohol, and this creates a nice smooth wash that'll run into the deep crevices of any other details on the model. For a cool chipping effect on the ammunition boxes, I just use the sponge chipping effect with some silver. With just a cotton bud moistened with water, I can now begin to easily remove or sort of blend in the wash I added on earlier. And for me, adding these dark brown washes is sort of the beginning stages of weathering. on the interior of the model, I want to use German camouflage black brown to make it look like oxidized metal. Now you could say I can begin the real weathering for the interior by using earth-like acrylic colors, and I want to build up this effect with just the right amount of water so it doesn't dry too fast on me, and I can also push it into the corners and areas of where dirt and grime would have been built up by the crew. I use canopy glue for gluing on the clear lens part on the spotlight on the T-34, and don't worry, when the glue dries up it'll come out clear and you'll be able to still see the inside of the spotlight. I use Tamiya's Flat Earth to help give me a nice first base color for the beginning stages of weathering the tracks, as you will see later on. And here I have my own adjustable acrylic mud that I've made with Tamiya paints, and those Tamiya paints would be Flat Earth, Buff, or it could be just with brown and mixed with Flat Earth, any kind of creating mixture that you want for your liking. If you're curious on how I made this acrylic mud texture, I have previous videos on how I made it, and for here I just use hard pastels mixed with the acrylic Tamiya paints, and to either give me a more grittier or softer tone of the mud texture. And for this acrylic mud texture, it's mixed with Buff and Deck Tan to get a nice light mud texture. I'm sure you may know that Tamiya paints are known to dry quickly, even after only a few minutes or even sometimes seconds. But with the soapy water mixed in with this acrylic paint, I can easily retouch it and go back with a cotton bud moistened with water, allowing me to easily be able to adjust it to certain areas that I would want it to be. And here I go back and add some more Flat Earth to certain areas that I want to retouch or add any different shades of color. For then the final layer of the Flat Earth color, I just mix in Deck Tan with the Flat Earth to get a nice light dry mud effect. Here I just begin to remove any excess paint from the dry mud effect that I added on earlier, as it only takes literally a few minutes and it is very nice and easy without any horrible smells of just removing the acrylic paint. I also add the dry mud effect to the road wheels and to the upper areas of the model, which you will see later on. I also apply this dry light mud effect onto the tracks to give it a nice looking texture. As I also said earlier, you may have heard, I also apply the light dry mud effect onto the fenders, onto certain areas of the flat surfaces of the tank where mud may have accumulated by the boots of the crew or by other reasons of possible other weathering effects. I then apply some dry grass that you can just find from your yard onto the now wet acrylic mud texture, which will help it fix it in place. Or you can use PVA glue, since we're just working with acrylics, to help fix it there, which would be diluted if you want it to help really conform to the surface of the model. And it'll really help give it that nice cool effect that it may have gone through some tree branches or other bushes that have accumulated onto the tank. I then just use a graphite stick, or you can just use a pencil as well, to get a nice really cool effect of polished steel from the tracks. I then apply a speckling method with red brown from Tamiya and mixed with Niddle black and even a lighter color mixed with Tectan, which will really help it add color variation on the tracks. Remember to, if you're doing the speckling method, you want to make sure to get rid of some of the excess paint that's on the brush before you flick on any of the little specks of paint onto whatever you're trying to weather. Otherwise, you'll get large spots of paint that you may not like. To add moisture effects to the model, I want to use mud and grass and splash mud, both from Viejo. And this is a pretty nice product of just adding on moisture and different effects of where you want there to be wet mud. I then apply the wet mud effects onto the center areas of the track to where mud would have taken longer to dry out rather than on the edges of the tracks, which you might see some on just other tracked vehicles. And for the final effect, I can add on the polished road wheels of steel with just a graphite pencil. Thank you so much for watching, as I really enjoyed painting and weathering my first interior kit, and I would say it's probably not the best, but I still really enjoyed and what my results came out to be. And just let me know what you think in the comments, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks. And don't forget to like and subscribe the video if you enjoyed it.
Песню заводила про степного сизого горла, про того, которого любила, про того, чьи письма берегла. Про того, которого любила,